Hi everyone, welcome back to the Pot Smokers Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smokers Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Christian Bible. So if you want to find out if unicorns really are in the Bible, then you need to go to King James, because that's where I found them. And today's episode is my formal telling of the story of origins for the earth. And the story of ascension with it. Because the story of the ascension of Zion and Messiah is the story of the ascension of the Godhead. And that is what all life is for. We are all born to to be given the opportunity to become gods and goddesses. That's what life is all about. Now, very few actually become gods and goddesses, but anyone has the ability to try. So this is the story of Zion and Messiah is the story of ascension. How to become a god and goddess. Now, as I told you in my last episode, Zeus went through ungodly hell to try to win back Hera's love, and the means by which he could do so was through the unicorn maid, Zion and Messiah. Now, once Zeus had won over the unicorns and returned to his galaxy, the unicorns got busy. Now, of course, they had always known that the day would come when some god would come to them seeking the unicorn maid. It was foreordained because the unicorn maid existed in the future, so she must have been created at some point. And so the unicorns had always known that that day would come. And because of that, they knew what to do because they had worked it all out. So they got together with the best humans that their galaxy could produce. And they created a god and a goddess from this human planet to reach the Godhead in order to create the male half of our unicorn people. Now, the unicorns did not have to go through this process of creating a god and goddess for this to create a planet. They have a different means of ascension. A unicorn is created from purity. It takes a pure soul to create a unicorn. A unicorn is in itself a god. They are all-powerful beings that have reached the highest evolution of their species. You cannot get higher than a unicorn if you're an equine, or, for that matter, any of the myrid parts of the unicorn that's not equine. But they had to find a planet to create the right human to become the unicorn maid and the unicorn man. And so they created two planets. One which would house unicorns. One which would house humans. And these two planets would be in close proximity. Close enough so that the souls of the one could go to the souls of the other, therefore creating a crossbreed of goddess unicorn. It was a very lengthy process. First, they had to create the right human. So the planetary evolution through that planet had to go all the way through so that they could create the right type of planet to create the right type of human that would be able to merge with the unicorn. And believe it or not, in order to make a pure soul, it has to come from a dark place. And so, the planet Hell was born. And with it, the planet Heaven. Heaven housed the unicorns. Hell housed the humans. And from the moment of conception of both planets, the story was of Zion and Messiah. That these two souls would take a path that had never been taken before. They would cross-reference themselves between unicorn and human, lifetime after lifetime. Now, this is really a hard thing because unicorns don't die. So, they had to make a mechanism for the two souls to merge. So, Zion the unicorn, Messiah the unicorn, had a fatal flaw. They were bound to the other soul on the other planet. And whenever that soul would die, the unicorn would die. And if they had not planned this the whole time, the unicorns would have freaked out because unicorns don't die. They're eternal spiritual beings. They only embody flesh when they must. And they must on this planet. So, at a great sacrifice to the unicorns, they allowed these two unicorn souls. They were both born unicorn, by the way, to go through living hells, lifetime after lifetime, perfecting their souls. Not as unicorns, and not as mans, but as unicorn mans. The perfect blending of the two. So, if Messiah was alive on hell, Zion was a unicorn. And when Messiah died, Zion died. And their souls would switch. Zion would be born a human, and Messiah would be a unicorn. And when Zion died, Messiah would die too, and they would cross. And so through the whole lifetimes of these planets, their souls crossed over from one to the other, becoming perfectly meshed between the two species. Now, during certain lifetimes, souls that are evolving normally get together in the flesh and do what they call merging, where their souls integrate into each other and they become part of each other and they evolve in that form. Well, this was done in the spirit for Messiah and Zion because they could not embody flesh in the same planet in the same place because that was not allowed. It would not fulfill the plan. So, in that final lifetime, when both souls were ready to ascend to the human Godhead, because they were already divine on the unicorn side, Messiah was born in that last time as a human. And he became the first astronaut to leave the planet Hell. And of course, his destination was the nearby, fully inhabited planet of heaven. He came to heaven and he met Zion, his soulmate, a unicorn. That was the most breathtakingly beautiful moment for the two souls because they had never met in the flesh before. They had never looked into each other's eyes before. They had met many times in spirit. They had loved many times in spirit. They had merged many times in spirit, but never in the flesh. But there was a big problem. They loved each other to death. But she was a unicorn. And so, it was at that point that the unicorn communicated to Zion what had happened and what was going on. And she in turn communicated with her beloved. And it was understood. Zion would go to hell with Messiah. And so he took his unicorn maid and took her to hell. And there he made arrangements with the king and queen, who, of course, agreed. This always having been the plan to begin with. And so, with tender loving care and by no other's hand, Messiah killed Zion, releasing her soul from her unicorn form. And at the same time that she was released from her unicorn form, the king and queen made love and conceived a child, the daughter Zion. Messiah watched her grow up, and they both knew who they were from the moment that she could articulate. She was like, Messiah, my love. They were a unit. They were unity. They were perfectly matched. They were soulmates. And so when she reached the age of marriage, she married her much older Messiah. And to this day, he's called the old man for that reason. So, Messiah and Zion finally, at long last, made love in the flesh and cemented their evolution. They achieved the Godhead of humanity and became the God and Goddess Zion and Messiah that we know today, or we will know today. And then they gathered their friends who had ascended with them, and they came here to this place, this nebula, and they did the dance of life. They made love in the spirit, in the twirling sea of particles, and they spun around and they made love, and they gathered together all of the materials, becoming the gravity well that created this planet, the matrix of this entire solar system. Messiah took the sun, and he shines down upon us every day, and he gives us his love, and he gives us his nurturing. He gives us everything that he can. And Zion, our beautiful unicorn maid, became the earth, her heart and soul within the matrix of this planet. And she nourished all of us, all of our lives. And today, well, not today, last year, she woke up. Because the story of this planet, this story, her story, the story that she and Messiah told when they created this earth, was the story of Zion and Baldwin, Beulah and Kenny, however you want to call it. And we, just like them, have gone through every lifetime on this earth, preparing ourselves to become who we are today. The unicorn maid and her unicorn man. So until next time, may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, keep you from all harm, and teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light the unicorn way. Be the joy, people. Spread the joy. Love you. Later. I'll never say goodbye.